Ever since you are a child, you tend to get this message from otherwise deeply spiritual people that enlightenment is something to be had in the distant future. And this is true no matter who your favorite contemplative is. And so this, I believe, is the single biggest idea from the book. Quite regardless of how exactly you define enlightenment, as long as you define it as some kind of a flashy event that can occur in an instant. Enlightenment cannot be had in the distant future because nothing apart from the present ever exists. And I'll get into this in a while, but for those of you who believe it should take years of contemplation, years of hard work, you might be right or wrong. See, it depends. Because all those years of hard work must lead to the same end result. The realization that enlightenment was available to you all along the way and that you could have tapped into it at any moment. Second, it is only in the present that any healing can occur. So for instance, it is only in the present that any past burden can be dropped. You cannot wait to drop it in the future because it hasn't yet arrived, and you obviously cannot go back into the past to fix it. You could change the meaning of a past regret by changing your interpretation of it, of the event that caused the regret. You could give the meaning of a sacrifice to any pain that you took. You could forgive a friend and let go of any past grudges. But notice that you could do any of these things only in the present and not in some dead past or imaginary future. The third big idea is the first step is always now. It doesn't matter even if there are 1,000 steps to achieving a goal of yours. The first step has to be always now. And this is not in some utilitarian motivational sense. It's simply the truth. You might say, well, I need to plan for the future. But even then, it's just that planning is the one step that you need to take now. In fact, personally, I'll go as far as to say that if you cannot take the first step right now, your goal is probably not well defined or might even be unreal. And as a side benefit, this realization empowers proactive living and doing, and life feels in control. You feel in control of your life. And fourth, your life is never not this moment. And this is an insight that is both extraordinary and commonsensical at the same time. See, if you can remember the past, you can only remember it now. And if you can think about the future, you can think about it only now. In fact, just like Alan Watts, one could go as far as to say that the past and the future are effectively unreal because they ever exist only as a part of the present experience. And from this, another profound insight occurs. So we have a culture perpetually anxious about the future and thus making a problem out of the present. But there never can be any problems in the present. Only situations to be dealt with now or to be left alone until later when they can be dealt with or when they no longer need to be dealt with. And so these are 4 big ideas from The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle, reasons why only the present can set you free.